In the meantime, I'm going to be bringing you more exclusive interviews, starting right now with the show's producer, Bruce Athol MacKinnon. Good evening. Hello. Very well. How have you enjoyed the first act?
Good. Well, it's funny being a producer. You're sitting there and kind of, you've got your fingers crossed, waiting for everyone to laugh at the right moments, cry at the right moments, etc. But so far, so good. And it's going really, really well.
Now, tell us, how did you get involved in Great Expectations to begin with?
Well, it's extraordinary. I actually went to see the show as a labour of love in Perth Theatre up in Scotland. Just went to the first night and. You go to the theatre all the time, it's work, if you're a producer or a director or whatever, and I sat down there and within 2 or 3 minutes I was riveted. So I went every week for the following 4 weeks to make sure I was absolutely right, and then I called the director and said, right, let's grab it and take it on tour and then bring it into the West End. And here we are tonight on Charles Dickens' birthday.
It must be a very proud moment for you.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone's worked really hard and the whole thing has come to fruition perfectly. It's more than I could have dreamt, really. The reviews on the tour were absolutely amazing and family audience has been absolutely incredible. Kids have loved it. So, no, we're really, really pleased.
Now, Great Expectations is obviously an iconic novel. So what challenges did you face bringing it to the stage?
I think one of the biggest things is it's written in the first person, and it could be very easy to do a theatrical show which somebody's saying, then I did this and then I did that, and obviously that can be the death of theatre. But what Jo Clifford has done, the adapter of the novel, she absolutely kind of threw the story up in the air, grabbed all the best bits, and she worked very closely with the director to create this kind of big, epic, gothic feel. And I think the real magic of it is that we really do get a sense that adult Pip is looking back on his life. And we're sucked into his memories. And like most children, when things are scary, when you're little, they're very scary, and when they're funny, they're very funny. So it allowed us to really stretch what's possible theatrically.
And we're also broadcasting it into cinemas this evening. How important is that, and what do you hope for that?
Well, the big thing for us really is the whole education and access programme. We've launched the Dickens Legacy this evening, which is a new fund which is going to raise money for access for young people. There's lots of people who don't come to London, let alone go and see a West End show. And it was really important for Lucinda Dickens Hawksley and I to kind of get together and say, let's grab this opportunity and work with Omniverse Vision to bring it to a much, much wider audience. So tonight we're in 140 plus cinemas in the UK and another 600 worldwide.
Amazing. Now we are actually enjoyed by the lady who you just mentioned, Lucinda Dickens Hawksley.
That was a good introduction.
Lovely to see you. Now you are the great-great-great-granddaughter of Charles Dickens.
Yes, that's right.
So how proud are you this evening to be
very,
here?
very proud. And it's just amazing. Isn't it the most fantastic performance? My niece and nephews are here and they are absolutely blown away by it. They can't believe how fantastic it is.
Now, why do you think throughout all these years Dickens in particular and this novel has been so successful?
I think because he wrote very much from the heart, so he really knew what he was talking about. It wasn't just of its time, it really knows about human nature, and Great Expectations really is one of his books that really looks at the psychology of human nature, and it's just a fantastic story. That's the essence of Dickens' writing. He was a brilliant storyteller.
And now tell us, we've heard a little bit about the legacy. What are your aims for it?
Well, Bruce and I both really wanted to do something that dealt with the perhaps less fashionable aspects of charity work. We wanted to do something that really looks at people who are vulnerable, the kind of people that Charles Dickens himself wanted to help. So we've got lots of plans for kind of taking the Dickens legacy forward and trying to do something really good with it.
And what kind of things will this involve?
Things such as prison reform, things such as education, adult and children education, and just generally trying to get the message out there that there are a lot of people who get sidelined by society, and we just want to try and stop that happening.
Now, how relevant do you think this story is for audiences today?
Well, I think it's essential. I mean, it's interesting, Lucinda was talking about the Dickens legacy there, and the big thing for us as well is, of course, one of the biggest challenges that we have in society is child abuse. It's the great thing that's never spoken about. Dickens deals with that head-on in this story. And the thing for me, using theatre gives us a platform to deal with some very contentious issues. And because it's wrapped up in Charles Dickens and everyone thinks they know him, it kind of gives us a real kind of ability to punch people in the stomach and say, right, come on, let's really grasp hold of these issues. They're difficult, they're nettles, but if we grab hold of them, we can actually confront them and deal with them.
I think that's exactly right. People do think they know Dickens, and actually there's so much more. When people come to see Great Expectations and they'll say, oh, it's so dark, that's how Dickens wrote it. Dickens was an incredibly complex personality. as Bruce said, he dealt with the most incredibly important themes of the day. And people don't take that on board. I mean, we're looking at domestic violence here, child abuse. In Old Curiosity Shop, for example, he deals with paedophilia. You never hear that written about. You only ever hear the funny, witty side of Dickens. And he had a really perceptive mind, particularly when it came to injustice.
So on that note, if he was alive today, what do you think he would be writing about?
I think he'd always write fiction, but I think he would do exactly what he did when he was alive, which was a combination of fiction and journalism. I could imagine him being one of those people who went off to very difficult parts of the world and did kind of documentary making, that kind of thing. But he would always write fiction because he had such a genius for it.
And there's an amazing set. This is an amazing production. What do you think audiences will take from it?
Laughter, tears, and I think just an extraordinary experience. It's a really, really big show. The costumes are amazing, the lighting is amazing, the design is beautiful, all the actors are quite extraordinary. And as Lucinda was saying, it's showing Dickens as he wrote it. It is not what people think now.
Yeah.
A lot of people want it all to be paper doilies and all sweet and lace. It wasn't that at all. He really wanted to grab an audience and say, let's look at these things, but I'm going to tell you an amazing story at the same time.
Sorry, I don't think I've ever been in a theatre before where the set has got an ovation before the players even started, which happened tonight.
That is pretty impressive. What was it like inside?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
amazing.
great energy.
Atmosphere is electric. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Well, thank you guys both so much.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy the second act. It looks like it's going to be just as exciting as the first was.
I hope our audience out there enjoys it.
I'm sure they
so.
will.
Thank you.
Thank you.